Imagine becoming a crime boss by age 16, ruling a prison, then becoming a motivational speaker, and finally reaching national cabinet. This is the incredible and controversial journey of Gayton Mackenzie. From hardened gangster to Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture. Is it redemption or manipulation? Welcome to Truth Cartel SA and the paradox that is Gayton Mackenzie. The streets before the spotlight. Before Gayton Mackenzie became a political firebrand and media magnet, he was a young man caught up in the chaos of South Africa's turbulent streets. Born in the Northern Cape, he grew up surrounded by poverty, inequality, and crime. A harsh environment that shaped his worldview earlier. His teenage years were not spent chasing dreams, but dodging trouble and running with the wrong crowd. By his early 20s, Gayton had already dived deep into gangsterism, becoming a prominent figure in the underworld. His operations were not petty. Mackenzie was involved in bank robberies, high-stakes heists, and organized crime networks that stretched across provincial lines. This was the time when South Africa's criminal underworld thrived on corruption. And Gayton wasn't just surviving in it, he was climbing the ranks. But power in the criminal world is fragile, and eventually, the law caught up with him. The fall, arrest, and prison. Gayton's arrest was no ordinary police bust. It was a well-planned operation targeting one of country's most wanted gangsters. Convicted of armed robbery and several other charges, he was sentenced to a lengthy prison term. For many, this would have been the end of the road. But for Gayton, it was only the start of a new chapter. Inside prison, Mackenzie quickly learned that survival required both brains and influence. He leveraged his street smarts to gain respect among inmates and even some wardens. But he also began to reflect, not only on morality, but on power. Prison gave him time to study politics, business, and persuasion. It was here that the seeds of his eventual reinvention were planted. The Great Escape, transformation behind bars. Gayton's transformation narrative is often told as one of the redemption, but it was also a strategy. He began giving motivational talks to fellow inmates, drawing attention from prison officials and journalists. Mackenzie painted himself as a man who had seen the worst of life and now wanted to inspire others to avoid his mistakes. He forged connections with the influential people outside the prison walls, including businessmen and political figures who were impressed by his charisma. These alliances would prove vital later. By the time he was released, reportedly after striking deals as an informant for authorities, Gayton had reinvented himself as a reformed gangster turned businessman. From convict to CEO. Upon his release, Gayton wasted no time capitalizing on notoriety. He wrote books, gave paid motivational talks, and entered the business world. His venture included mining interests, hospitality, and media. But controversy followed him. Critics accused him of exaggerating his prison reform story, while others whispered about connections to shady business deals. Still, Mackenzie had mastered the art of public relations. Every scandal seemed to boost his profile rather than sink it. The political pivot. In early 2010, Gayton saw another path to politics, to power. He co-founded the Patriotic Alliance alongside Kenny Gunene, another former convict turned businessman. The PA positioned itself as a voice for marginalized communities, but its tactics were bold, loud, and often controversial. Mackenzie built his political persona on fiery speeches, populist rhetoric, and unapologetic nationalism. He was not afraid to attack political opponents, challenge the media, or court public outrage. The rise to municipal power. In 2022, Gayton scored one of the most biggest political victories, becoming mayor of the Central Karoo District Municipality. In true Mackenzie style, he made sweeping promises: free Wi-Fi for all, job creation schemes, and anti-corruption drives. He even pledged to forego his mayoral salary to show his commitment to the people. But his leadership style was one unorthodox, mixing public service announcement with stunts that kept him in the headlines. Some called him a breath of fresh air. Others saw him as a political opportunist playing to the gallery.